This is not real, right? Okay. Kristen died. Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm Courtney Tailor, and I do OF for a living.
OnlyFans.
Courtney Tailor Clooney was born on April 21st, 1996 in Midland, Texas. As a teenager, Courtney entered the acting career in advertising, teasers, and modeling, and sports became more serious than anything else for her. A few years later, she became a fitness instructor, and her workout videos went viral to the point where her Instagram followers quickly reached 1 million.
What's up, y'all? It is Sunday and it's about 1:30 p.m.
Now it was time to take advantage of this opportunity to use and earn money from her fame, so she created a base on the OnlyFans site for loyal fans so that they can access her exclusive photos by paying a monthly fee. By doing this, apart from advertising on various pages, she only earned up to $3 million from this site at the age of 26.
Deadlifts, squats, leg presses.
Now, Courtney had everything in her life except love, until she met Chris Obumseli. In the beginning, everything was great and dreamy. Travels, parties, and shopping were in the most luxurious state.
Putting all of my fish in this 6-pack bag. Hi, Jesse. What's going on? I am single as a Pringle, honey.
Until the relationship condition changed over time. She was not the same person she used to be. She was always angry about trivial things, and she was very insulting to Chris in every argument and fight. In February 2022, sometime later, she decided to go to Miami to show everyone how rich she is. She rented a large and expensive apartment near the city center, and she was always careful that her boyfriend did not forget that she was paying $10,000 a month. She gives the apartment and living expenses. Reports show that on April 3rd, 2022, at 1:15 a.m., Chris goes out of the apartment with their dogs and walks around and comes back at 4:32. And in the meantime, Courtney does a live on Instagram. 11 minutes later, that is at 4:43, the sound of their arguing and fighting reached its peak very quickly, to a point that it had never reached before. This is part of the audio file that their neighbor recorded from the last moment of their fight. Around 4:56, local police received a strange emergency call.
I can't get my arm. I can't feel my arm. Oh, my boyfriend is dying of a stab. Ma'am, what is the address? 134 Northeast 7th Ave. Baby, I'm so sorry.
The police and emergency arrived very quickly at the scene of the accident, and there they faced a very terrible scene. The victim was seriously injured in the chest, and everything in that house was stained with Chris' blood. The door and walls, the floor of the apartment, the chairs, and of course, Courtney herself.
And then there's a pair of gray NBA sweatpants that are his. That are like,
Based on the blood that the victim left, we realized that this incident happened long before Courtney called the emergency service and the police. Reports showed that instead of calling the police, Courtney called her mom and talking to her for 30 minutes. 30 minutes that could save a person's life. Finally, the ambulance takes the victim to the hospital and the police take the suspect to the interrogation room.
My apologies for being absolutely fucking covered in blood.
Listen, you don't have to apologize, okay? I completely understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Things happen, and you can't control it. Okay?
The point that we should pay attention to from the beginning is that there are two Courtney Tailors sitting in the interrogation room. One is a broken girl after a terrible accident, and the second, an inner monster who behaves in a controlled manner due to the situation in which her host body is now trapped. But every few minutes, we can see a trace of her.
You guys come to Miami mostly?
We visited last year in March, and we loved it, and we travel all the time together. We like the beach.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I mean, I've always wanted to live here, so he was like, he wanted to move to London, I wanted to move here, and I was like, maybe we should start in the U.S.
Yeah,
and he was like, that, and we did it. So.
Okay. How long have you guys been together?
About 2 years.
About 2 years?
A year and a half to 2 years, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is he okay?
Finally, after 22 minutes, the subject asks the investigator about her boyfriend. While the most important things that a normal person thinks about in this situation is that the victim is alive and well. This is one of the factors of a self-obsessed person. Such people lack empathy and their biggest concern in their own situation. Another type of this disease that we may witness in the interrogation room is hidden narcissists. These people seem reasonable off the surface. They get a lot of attention, but it is still not enough for them because they consider themselves worthy of more attention and believe that the world has not yet realized their greatness.
He's still at the hospital. They're still,
I know.
monitoring him and talking to him. So we're waiting.
Oh my God! So he didn't even have to have surgery.
Well, I don't know. They're still doing X-rays and stuff like that. So I don't know yet. I'm waiting to hear a response.
That's all I have to know. Thank God.
Sometimes the process of the interrogation room is highly dependent on the information outside the interrogation room. Like here, the news of whether Chris is dead or alive is completely fictive in the condition of this room. Skilled interrogators know this, and sometimes they don't give a part of the case information to the subject in order to keep it private. When Courtney finds out that her boyfriend is alive and the doctor are working for Chris' health, not only her mood and tone of voice, but also her sitting posture changed. The police were probably trying to calm Courtney down by telling her about Chris' health so that she would cooperate with them. But when Courtney calms down, she returns to her original state and gives short and concise answers to the interrogation's questions.
Do you guys work here in Miami, or do you guys have your own business? Or?
I do social media, so I'm an influencer, I guess that's what call it. Yes, I'm an influencer. And he does stocks and crypto.
What do you focus on, like Instagram or social media?
Instagram, OnlyFans.
Obviously, talking about Chris' job is not important to Courtney, and this can be understood from the way Chris' job is introduced. Since Courtney always prioritizes her own issues, she doesn't like to talk about her boyfriend's job. In the definition of a narcissist, there is a specific pattern of self-conceit. A person who is actually involved in this disease does not want to see anything but himself. But he cannot see, and these people are very interested in being in the center of attention and expect that later, from every sentence they say, people will start cheering and praising them.
I've been watching a Christina Randall, or listening to a Christina Randall video, and tried to call my mom. She didn't answer the first time. And then I guess he went to go bike over there. That's just what he said. I don't know if he walked or biked, but he told me he's gonna bike personally.
Like a bicycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came back, and I said something about like, oh, are you gonna like reshare your location with me? Like, did you share it? And he said, yeah, I shared it. And I was like, oh, when did you do that? And he goes, the other day, like when you were done with me. And I was like, okay, well, fair enough. And, like, reshare it. I love him, but just like, you know.
Let's look again.
I love him, but just like, you know.
When Courtney is talking about her love to her boyfriend, she scratches her nose. This is a subtle and accurate sign of body language that indicate a person is lying. But the important thing is that an acute narcissist cannot love anyone at all and is not able to express interest in anyone other than herself like normal people. For such people, a romantic relationship is more like a deal. In this way, if they express interest in someone in a situation, this behavior is conditioned by what they gain from the relationship.
Pressing me, and he ended up pinning me against the wall, and then, I mean, I said like choking me on the floor. It's just like, here, look at my neck, and I was like, I mean, I'm not saying like choking me like, you know, whatever, but I mean, he had my like neck, like, and this happened twice before, where I couldn't breathe, and I was on the floor. I could not breathe, and I don't think that he is trying to kill me, but I was scared, and all 3 times I have been scared. So yeah, I'm on the floor. Yeah.
As it is clear, this story that Courtney is telling means self-defense. But the problem with this story is that it has no continuity and some parts are not in harmony with each other. For example, in one place, she said that she was standing and Chris was choking her. And then she said that she fell on the floor. On the other hand, we know that the relationship between these two people has always been full of conflict according to the statements of those around them.
You told me to come
Decide right now.
Courtney, that's a I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize, but you hit me.
Shut the
For 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. Like, you're hindering my progress.
You need to sit down.
Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me.
I grabbed one of these knives. My mom got me for Christmas. I grabbed one of them, and I was like, I swear to God. I swear to God. It was just like, I mean, I would be like, don't come anywhere closer to me. Because, I mean, earlier, I was having 2 other times I couldn't fucking breathe. I'm sorry. I couldn't breathe. And it's very scary. And I just think, like, just like that kind of thing where I was saying, like, don't come any closer. It's coming at me, and I threw it. And I meant for it to go.
How far away was he?
Well, I was by my fridge, and he was like by the edge of one of the chairs of the sofa.
Okay.
Like
comparing to what
10 feet. I'm trying to think in my head.
Courtney says in her speech that she was defending herself and at the same moment she drove the kitchen knife from a distance of 10 feet which hits Chris' chest. But the result of the forensic investigation at the most important clue that was later added to the case determined that the amount of the injury on the victim's body was not possible by drawing a knife.
You made a report before?
No.
You've never made a report?
Oh, I did in Dallas, actually, about a year ago.
The suspect seems to have forgotten that she had a violent fight with her boyfriend almost a year ago when they were in Las Vegas. During that time, according to his friends and family, Chris was not the happy person he used to be. Courtney also started drinking heavily due to severe stress and depression. Because of this high consumption, she was accused twice of driving while drunk and went to the detention center. But nothing changed with these 2 arrests. Both alcohol consumption continued and harm increase became more intense. Until on July 27, 2021, the conflict between them escalated and the dose of violence was so high that they had to take Chris to the hospital. Apparently, Courtney threw a glass at Chris and seriously injured him.
Did you throw a bottle at him or a glass at him? You say you've done it before.
Glass cup. I don't feel that I should be getting arrested at all right now. Is this like a overnight ordeal?
12-hour hold.
12-hour hold? Okay, there's a lot that happened that I didn't say.
Chris was in the hospital for a few days and Courtney was also arrested. Chris told the police that this is a simple and minor conflict and they can solve it themselves. In this way, the case was closed without any complaint. This incident proved that Courtney has a history of throwing things at her boyfriend. April 2nd, 2022, the guard of Courtney and Chris' apartments calls the police and reports that these two people had a violent fight. Courtney apparently tried to stop the guard from calling the police but was unsuccessful, and this angered her. Courtney doesn't care about anything here except to get a temporary restraining order from the court before Chris, an appointment that makes a person unable to approach or even call a certain person.
Her boyfriend comes charging towards her, and we actually try to get in the middle of it.
Right now, like, I have not always been a victim, but like right now I'm a freaking victim in the situation. I'm scared to go downstairs and walk my dog. I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
This childish mental competition is a reminder of the suspect's self-importance. All this aggressive behavior originates from the psychosis that exists in a malignant narcissist. Remember that these people do not feel guilty. It means that they may steal, lie, betray, and cheat, but in their opinion, they did not do anything bad.
You want this person to completely disappear from your life. At the same time, you have him in your apartment here for 2 months with a ton of stuff in here.
But I know.
Now, he went charging at her.
That's fine.
That's my whole thing.
Right. But she didn't mention none of that until she says she wants to do something about it, that's where we step in, where it's a criminal activity, but she needs to mention something about that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can't.
Let's go back to the interrogation room. The interrogators gave 1 hour before the start of the second round and allowed the suspect to change his clothes. But the second round starts with a new news.
We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. There's no fucking way. Christian died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Sure. Yeah.
I cannot be left alone in like a room by myself.
You won't be.
After this. What I was saying to that other room, I said, God forbid, when like from far away. What if I had accidentally hit a little bit lower and he died?
After this interrogation, Courtney will be transferred to the Police Psychiatric Center for mental health evaluation. But very soon, she will be discharged from the hospital and come out. Around the next day, the investigator announced that, in their opinion, the whole incident was a family problem. And Courtney actually defended herself in this incident and cannot be blamed for Chris' death. And cannot be blamed for Chris' death. In this way, the main perpetrator of Chris Obumseli's murder was released. In this way, the main perpetrator of Chris Obumseli's murder was released.
She was in a struggle for her life. She defended herself. He came at her.
Yeah, and are seeking justice. Typing, sir? Yeah, what? I'll videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just lost your boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah, okay, cool.
In order to be close to her family, Courtney buys a $1.5 million house so that she can return to her prime very quickly. Although on the surface it seemed that Courtney's recovery period was going well, but inside the situation was extremely messed up. The consumption of alcohol had passed several times, and the stress disorder after the accident did not leave Courtney for a moment. In the meantime, Chris' family, who were very sad to hear the news of Courtney's release, hired a lawyer to reopen the case. Sometime later, new evidence was added to the case, such as the elevator video and 20,000 messages they had exchanged, and a video that Chris had secretly recorded of one of their fights. With the addition of this evidence aligned with the important forensic report about throwing a knife, the court on August 10, 2022, issued an arrest warrant for Courtney Tailor on the charge of second-degree murder. Courtney's lawyer request to be released on bail was rejected and she forcibly returned to prison. Courtney Tailor is currently being held in Miami jail awaiting sentencing. Please share your thoughts on this case in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye.